a pleasant good night to all our viewers tonight, and thank you once again for joining us here on Tobago Sports Live. And this is our TSL weekly roundup. So, straight into it tonight. As we all know, sports has been basically cancelled one more time for the year. They say it's going to be 28 days, but I don't think that it's going to go on beyond that. So later tonight we're going to have a discussion with some very sportsy people that are in the studio right now. But before we get to that, we're going to review what has been going on so far, well, up until the shutdown. So last weekend we had the Friends of Shore Park 3x3 basketball tournament, and it was a resounding success, I must say. In first place we had the Kiskili Crusaders. They consist of 4 members: Jonel Singh, Aki Boyd, Fern Smith, and Tyreek James. They won the competition. They were the overall winners. In second place we had Egret Invaders, and they were led by Kerry Celestine. In third place we had Mott Gladiators, and they were led by Valdez Perez. So congratulations to the guys who came in first, second, and third. Well done. As far as I understand, it was a very good tournament. It was very exciting. We had some individual prizes. The individual prizes actually went to one individual. It was 3 individual prizes. There was MVP under 21 player, the most points scored, and the overall MVP. And all those individual prizes went to Akil Boyd of Kiskili Crusaders. So Akil took everything, right? So tonight we are going to get straight into it, and we're going to basically be discussing with some coaches that I have in the studio here what they think is going to happen for the rest of the year where sports is concerned. So when we come back, we'll have a discussion with them. So we'll be right back after this break. And we are back, and as promised, I have some persons here in the studio. In the black, on my right, we have Mr. Kern Thorm. I'm just going to give you some of the hats that he wears. He's a PE teacher. He's also a track and field specialist, and he's also a referee. In the middle, we have Miss Carissa Jacob. And let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a FIFA referee, the only FIFA referee that we have in Tobago here. She's also a local referee. She's also a track and field specialist as well. And let me know that she's also an athlete. So there we go, Miss Carissa Jacob. And right next to me we have Mr. Goddard, Richard Goddard.
Hello, Tobago.
He's a football coach. He's also involved in futsal and handball, right? So guys, I said something about you, so you can introduce yourselves to our online viewers. We'll start with Kurt.
Well, I introduced myself last week, but again, you know, as a PE teacher, I love sports and I'm interested in all different types of sports.
I think that everything you just said would have covered my portfolio. I've been a teacher since 2006, specialized in phys ed when I went to university. track coach, specialist in endurance, and recently throws. I'm an athlete myself, like I said. I do a lot of road race.
Okay.
And I am also a FIFA referee, the only assistant referee in the country, female actually.
Oh.
Only female assistant referee, FIFA, in Trinidad and Tobago, located in Tobago. So, yeah.
Well, I've been around for a while now. I've been on this program as a co-host as well, so I guess being a co-host could be, thrown into the hat as well. Football coach, most of the time. Began coaching futsal, assisting with handball. Generally, a lover of all sport, and very pleased to be on the panel here tonight. And I'll be the person that's going to be handing out the hand sanitizer so that everyone is sanitized and ready to go. So, there we go.
There we go. What the CMO would have advised us to do, continue sanitizing. We, as you can see, we may not be 6 feet, but we are apart, right? And well, for this occasion, we can't wear a mask because we have to interact with you, but we're trying. We would have been able to start getting back into competitions, etc. Coach and Kern and Carissa are track and field coaches, right? As coaches, how do you think you're going to approach training? Because I mean, we have athletes and we have to keep them up to a certain level. I mean, they're not going to be at the same level as having them out every week. But how do you plan on keeping them active during this time?
Who wants to go first?
Who wants to be first?
Well, ladies first, I guess.
Yes.
Well, what I see happening is that we're going to end up going back into what we saw happening in March. A lot of home training. We're still allowed to go outside, so it would more or less be on an athlete to take it upon themselves to do whatever activities that they are allowed to do outside as well, with maybe some guidance from the coaches through text message or I see that because of the restrictions of the groups, training is going to be pretty much null and void right now, because until there's a lift, we would have to insist that our athletes do some homework, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's pretty much true. When had, all the footballers in Bishops in particular asking Coach Man, okay, well, could you provide us a workout plan to just to keep them up to speed, so to speak, so they don't lose everything. And it was stricter restrictions back then. If we are still allowed to be outside and to actually take part in physical activity, to utilize the fields and that kind of stuff. But the truth is, it's very difficult to have a training session with 5 persons, knowing that you have to try to deal with 20 or 25. So I would have been communicating with our players through some other senior players, because I don't necessarily want to be a part of their group, their WhatsApp group or anything like that. and I would, send a training program for them to be a part of, and some of them would actually send videos back that they're doing the sessions. But I know mentally is probably going to be the most difficult thing, to keep them mentally in tune with the fact that they need to keep doing the training by themselves, or even with the odd friend or two or three or four. So, but it's the entire thing is really and truly mentally challenging more than it is physically challenging for the players and for the coaches as well.
Good.
Well, got the coach, what are we gonna do during this time? Because you find you might have some other athletes, they see it as free time, so time off. They don't understand that they need to continue in whatever sport it is in terms of the training. What we did during the first lockdown, from March to June, we would have designed home workout plans, stuff that they could do on their own, using weights at home, like bottles with sand or bottles with water, body weight exercises, push-ups, your squats, your plyometrics, jumping up on a box or running up a step. And some persons may have had a hill next to their house, so we identify those athletes who have some hills, maybe in Bell Garden and so forth, and we design specific workouts for those athletes. At some point in time, because it's track and field, we would have had to do different stuff for the throwers,
Right.
and different stuff for the sprinters compared to the endurance runners. So the coaches all around Tobago, they are willing to give advice and send stuff to the athletes, but at the end of the day, I think the onus is on the athlete, but also with support from the parents. And those who have gone past the youth stage or the junior stage, 24 and whatever, I think they need to be mindful that it's on them. A parent can't do it for them anymore, and get that drive in them.
Right. That is absolutely truth. I mean, the whatnot is that we are literally kind of innovating or re-innovating what training means for the young. They need some guidance, but maybe even their coaches can't give them the kind of guidance they are looking for, so they get to turn towards social media for some of that guidance, and turn to their friends and turn to their parents. It's a completely changed dynamic in terms of how we perceive training and how the younger generation until they actually get it. For us, for me, it was different. We didn't have TikTok back in my day. But we got to see some of the skills that we see nowadays on TV on a normal given basis. A lot of the kids aren't necessarily watching TV. They have their phones. They have, they're online with their laptops or tablets or whatever it is, and they've kind of redefined training for themselves to make it apply for them, and to essentially get the most out of downtime that they're experiencing. And this is something that I will admit I have never experienced anything like this in my lifetime. So to have them go through something that is completely abnormal,
Yes.
it's a big challenge, but they've done well. I think the children have done well to hold and to fight it through. They know they have a second one coming, so they've been tested already.
Right.
I think they're gonna hold a little bit better this time around.
Okay, so guys, since March, right? And as coaches, we would have had, or we would have specified at least that he needs to work on this, she needs to work on this. And I mean, the year has gone by, and I don't think that we got to work on these things. Getting ready for next year's season. If there's a season, let's just say there is. Getting ready for next year's season. What about those athletes that need to work on something specific? How are we looking to help them? I mean, yes, they're going to be home. You're going to provide them with some sort of workout for them to do. But what about the specifics, the techniques that they need to specialize in, or they need to work on? What about those type of things? Like, for example, I know some of our athletes at Phoenix, they need to practice. Because I think it's a tough question. How do you get them to perfect this for next year's season? Because I mean, how do you guys think that you're gonna think this out?
Well, one thing, so like you said, if optimistic that we would have a season, so in that light we still have to prepare. Yes, in March we would have done the whole home training and stuff. I think it's gonna continue along those lines, but in terms of perfecting or bettering some of their skills, I see where they can, okay, as the coach, you know what exactly you want them to be doing. There are videos on YouTube that we could send to the athlete, and they themselves, while they're doing the exercise, they can film themselves. Because I mean, we're living in a technological age, especially the young people now. They know how to handle that. But filming themselves and sending it back to the coach for feedback, that kind of thing, I think that's probably one of the methods that could be used. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No, I absolutely agree. Some of the players were actually sending videos back to me of them doing their training, whether it be with the ball or without the ball. So it's our primary avenue to see what they are doing when we can't be around them.
Yeah, exactly.
And we simply have to use the technology as much as we possibly can, of course, for the betterment of the athlete. And we also have to we have to make sure that we're educated enough to give them guidance, so in a sense they know we can see some of the things they need to work on even through video.
Right.
It's one thing to always be able to see them live, where you could literally dissect their movements or their techniques. But when you're not seeing them live, it's a little bit of a different story. But what it does, it gives us an opportunity to kind of work on kind of piecing through the details of proper technique and proper behavior, proper posture, so that those young persons, those individuals, can actually kind of self-correct themselves. Especially if you're not versed in utilizing the technology in that. What being a coach is. It's not just being on the field and being able to give the correction then. It's being able to actually see the correction from a remote location and almost immediately see. to make at that point in time.
So let me hear from Kern now.
During this COVID time, it has given the coaches an opportunity to evolve as a coach because, we weren't doing certain things and, we had to go and get information, change workouts that we used to do. We never used to do home workouts like that, but you have to go and you design them now. One of the things that we didn't mention was sending articles to athletes. So they could spend some time, a couple minutes reading about a particular topic in their sport. So also sending diagrams. So if we're doing volleying the ball in football, you send a diagram that shows the picture every step of the way. Lock your ankles, foot pointing down, and not following through with your foot high up in the air, but you need to keep it to drive it low, right? So different things, because some athletes learn visually, so just telling them, but if they see it, YouTube articles and read scientific information and research on a particular study.
And I think part of our
exactly.
I know there are a lot of, with the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, there are a lot of online coaching symposiums, webinars, courses that are actually going on. I myself we should actually try to drive some of our younger athletes to even if it's not necessarily like a webinar. The TTOC is one of the organizations that have made a commitment to actually getting information out to the younger athletes and to coaches and athletes in general, but the younger ones in particular. So I think us using as many avenues as possible to try to make sure that they have an understanding as to where they are trying to go and how to get there. That's something that we really and truly kind of have to bring as part of our arsenal as coaches in today's world.
All right.
With the TSL Weekly Roundup, where hosts Kami and interview persons in the sporting arena right here in Tobago, bringing live updates to you on sporting events on the island and interacting with the public. Remember, this and every Friday, live on Tobago Sports Live at 8 p.m. Tobago Sports Live, evolving sports in Tobago. Join us this and every Friday on Tobago Sports Live Facebook page for the TSL Weekly Roundup, where hosts Kami and interview persons in the sporting arena right here in Tobago, bringing live updates to you on sporting events on the island and interacting with the public. Remember, this and every Friday, live on Tobago Sports Live at 8 p.m. Tobago Sports Live, evolving sports in Tobago. Join us this and every Friday on Tobago Sports Live Facebook page for the TSL Weekly Roundup, where hosts Kami and interview persons in the sporting arena right here in Tobago, bringing live updates to you on sporting events on the island and interacting with the public. Remember, this and every Friday, live on Tobago Sports Live at 8 p.m. Tobago Sports Live, evolving sports in Tobago. Join us this and every Friday on Tobago Sports Live Facebook page for the TSL Weekly Roundup, where hosts Kami and interview persons in the sporting arena right here in Tobago, bringing live updates to you on sporting events on the island and interacting with the public. Remember, this and every Friday, live on Tobago Sports Live at 8 p.m. Tobago Sports Live, evolving sports in Tobago.
And we are back. We are back once again, and I'm going to Goddard this time, Mr. Richard Goddard, who is a football coach. Now, your discipline is a little work on your athletes singly.
Yeah.
But, however, you're a team, you're working with a team, and while, yes, they can do their individual development, what about that team development? How do you plan on working that out?
Wow, well, I'll be really honest to say that due to the rules and regulations, it is difficult. It is really difficult. And I'm talking from just a normal team perspective. I'm not even talking from just a team within an educational institution perspective, because that brings a kind of different story. Because it's 5 persons, you almost have to strategize your own time management,
Right.
and it can't be an hour, because you can't train everybody for an hour. That'll be 4 hours of training for you by yourself to try to rework into another day. And most of us don't have 4 hours in a day to do that kind of coaching. You generally have about 2, maybe 2.5, and that might be pushing it. I've actually been toying with that possibility of having what would essentially be like staggered half an hour to 45-minute sessions, where they would have a certain training plan for about 30 minutes, and then for 15 minutes they'll go separate, do part of the training plan as well, while I work on the other 5 persons that would come in. Next best for that is to have multiple assistant coaches being present to assist in that regard. You could, to be honest, you could actually have 4 assistant coaches training 20 players.
So one trainer defenders, midfielders, goalkeeper.
Or you can have them working on different aspects of training. So, a day might be plyometrics, and one coach takes them and they do plyometrics on that day, and that's what they do on that day.
Okay, and then rotate them for the other days.
And then they rotate. So you could even do it on the same day and just spread them out. So let's say a venue such as Shaw Park, where the field is
huge,
massive. You don't have to have them all train within the same area. You can literally take a group and say, okay, today you're doing endurance training for 15 minutes, and then after that 15 minutes you move. So you do a bit of a circuit in that way. But with secondary schools, you're kind of in mercy of the ministry or the division of education, and if they are not comfortable with that kind of arrangement, even if you think it makes complete sense, then you can't really move. So it brings a little bit of a different challenge, because you can't use your own judgment. You have to use the judgment of the Ministry of Education and the Minister of Education, or the Division of Education. And it makes things a little bit more complicated when you have to deal with children and educational institutions. However, I know some schools actually were able to start training. I know at a certain point in time, the premier division schools were in training.
Yes.
And they would have come up with their own protocols. And it would have worked to some degree, because to be honest, I didn't hear anyone say that they had to stop. But it just simply, it's education, it's youths, it's a congested area. It's individuals training on the same field. It's the same individuals going back into the school environment amongst their friends, and we already know how difficult it is to social or physical distance. Yes. And it simply poses a lot of challenges. But once we're allowed some leeway, I believe that we could kind of work things through, and who knows, maybe that idea of the general circuit utilizing the entire facility, and that might just be the way to do it.
All right, so I definitely see us as coaches, because I have pandemic is concerned. I mean, because we have to be real. If it doesn't clear up anytime soon. This is something that we're going to have to go forward with, and we're going to have to definitely plan. This is where, as Kern said, the coaches have to be very innovative, whereas we'll have to definitely come up with very creative ideas on how to keep our athletes, their fitness, keep them fit.
Because we have a lot of athletes who are motivated by different things, motivated in different ways. So how you motivate one athlete may not necessarily be the same way you motivate another. Some athletes, they are motivated by being given a challenge.
Right.
So I know for myself, sometimes coach tries to do the workout, which I send. So I do the workout, I get up 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I let them know in the group chat, right? I'm going to start, send some videos on my status so they can see, and then after that you see they wake up, and then you see, you know, the others, they said, all right, I going and start now, or, you know, they put up videos as well. So that's one way of motivating, by, you know, trying to be involved, trying to make them feel like you are doing it too, and it's not just them. Also, you know, motivation by giving a challenge. So we're gonna do 200 push-ups today. Let's see who could do 200 push-ups, and you know, they try. So
The lady of the night, Miss Jacob.
Well, it's like, so he actually took it right out of my head what I was thinking. Yeah, because we're in the same club,
Yes.
teach in the same school, we referee together. So, yeah, that's usually how we did it prior, in just when the lockdown began. That's how we motivated our kids. We sent challenges. We not just sent in and said, well, you all do this, you all try this.
Right.
We showed them, okay, if your coach, who is so many years older than you,
Could do it.
is not
then you
as
could do it
quick,
too.
is not as strong as you are, could do it, you have no excuse. So when you post the videos of you doing a specific exercise and you post it in the chat, it'll be like, yeah, who's next? Top that. You send out a challenge, you call out somebody's name. Yeah,
Right.
come and do this now. So yeah, that's usually, that's how we have done it in the past, and I'm pretty sure we would continue along those lines.
All right, and Coach Goddard.
But early in the COVID era, I actually would have gotten up and gone walking, and at a point in time started doing some running up hills, did a video and sent it to you know, the senior footballers, like I said, and they would have shared it. And you know, lo and behold, again, some videos came back of persons doing some of that same training. It is always a fun thing to see your coach actually doing your workout.
Exactly, yes it is. Very much so.
But it is different at a point in time, and I kind of realized that at a certain point in time, you have to actually step back.
Yeah.
And not be a part of their sessions. I mean, youngins, you know, they could still do that. But I had to actually step back, and because
And
of
what?
the team concept, I had to look at it differently.
Okay.
You know, I try to keep their heads kind of focused on a goal that I don't know they are trying to achieve, but I want them to get there. Whether it be, you know, playing at the highest club level, whether it be national team duty, whether it be scholarship, maybe possibly a professional career. My job at this point in time is just to to try to keep their mental steady enough that they could keep focused on the goals that they're trying to achieve. And whichever way I could do it, whether it be videos of myself training or videos of when for example, when the real Ronaldo, sorry CR7, when he got injured the first time and then got injured again the second time and then came back to win the golden boot in the World Cup the next time up, you give them these inspirational type videos or settings that allow them to continue to think, okay, this will pass.
All right.
And
To come, yes.
So we really have an incredibly challenging role ahead of us. It comes with the territory and it comes with the change. And as a coach, and I'm sure both coaches here could attest, change is inevitable. Mm-hmm. And we take that into consideration all the time, but at the end of the day, we realize we have to be kind of front and center of the movement to keep them motivated, and we haven't backed down, that's for sure. And we accept the challenge that this is just how it is, and we just kind of have to keep on working with whatever comes our way to try to give them the best opportunity.
All right, definitely. So as we wrap up, I just want to ask the three coaches, you don't have to speak to your athletes specifically, but just give our viewers, our young athletes that might be looking at some advice as to, how they should push through. Just give them, anything that you have to say that may motivate them to continue the training, whatever you may.
I think the athletes, one of the things that they need to do first of all is remind themselves of what their goal is. So if your goal is to get a scholarship, to play on the national under 17 team, you just need to remind yourself what is your goal, and then ask your coach, if you don't know, what do I need to do to
get to this goal,
to continue along that path.
Okay.
We need to be real, because it's not easy at all, not for the athlete and not for the coach, because you might have an athlete who is coming along really nicely. Yes, I'm seeing that improvement, and we're looking to take it to the next level, and then COVID, and then it's a demotivation in itself for the athletes, also for the coach. So we ourselves need to regain our composure very quickly, and to help these athletes to continue to rise. But it's gonna be difficult when we start back. A lot of vomiting. So they just need to prepare themselves for that.
Yes. All right, Miss Jacob.
She keeps taking the ideas out of my head. So
That's always her excuse.
Instead of the athlete, I want to talk to the coaches. Mm-hmm. Yes, the athlete, what they're doing is important. You have to focus on their goals, but you yourself have to set a goal as a coach.
Definitely.
This is where I want my athlete to be. And you try to align that with their goals, mm-hmm. so that you'll have a flow. So your ideas and their ideas will mesh, basically. And I think once you have a goal and you're working towards your goal, it will pull theirs in alignment.
Yes,
yeah.
I definitely agree with that. So, Coach Garaj,
my personal bit of advice is to actually remain prepared. We cannot stress on it enough. It's a very difficult thing to do under the circumstances. But the truth and fact of the matter is, if you remain prepared, if you keep yourself fit, if you work on being mentally strong, if you do the nutritional guiding of yourself, especially now, you will have an opportunity at some point. And when that opportunity comes, you better be ready to take it. You might not have another opportunity, in the next 10 to 15 years, depending. But that opportunity is key to your growth. And your preparedness is key to you being ready for that opportunity. So, don't drop your heads. Don't fight with yourself. Don't fight with your parents. Don't fight with your coaches. It will get better eventually. It was on its way to getting better, and we had to kind of recalculate and recalibrate. It will pass. We'll get through it. We'll be there to help you out. Don't worry about it.
All right, good. So I want to just thank my 3 coaches. So take it away, Coach.
It's short. I think Goddard's entry line about staying prepared. One of the great UFC fighters, Conor McGregor, one of stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. So I think that's a quote that the athletes should try to live by: staying ready, so that when the time comes, they don't have to rush to get ready.
I definitely agree with that, and I actually like that quote very much. Right, so that's and you can definitely see that our athletes are in some good hands, because we have some very innovative coaches that are willing to go the extra mile. So to those athletes out there that you need to stay ready instead of trying to get ready. All right, and so thank you to my panel. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Pleasure again.
For giving us your views. So all our events that were planned for this month basically cancelled. We have you heard from our coaches, you heard the advice that our coaches gave, and I just want to encourage everyone to continue sanitizing, continue that social distancing, continue to wear your mask. All right, it's for our benefit. All right, so thank you to our viewers once again. Thank you, and I still want to thank you to the persons that would have made our broadcast possible. That's WB Supermarket, Sports Fanatics, Tammy Stutch, and of course my TSL team. Right, so thank you once again for viewing, and we do hope to see you next time. Do you need a comfortable shopping experience outside the hustle and bustle of Scarborough? Well, look no further. WB Supermarket, located at Government House Road, is the place for all your food supplies, fresh produce, personal and household items. With convenient parking, affordable prices, and a friendly staff at your service. WB Supermarket, where Jesus Christ makes the difference. Do you need a